A big air and sea search has been going on this afternoon for a man in his 20s who's missing in the sea at Great Yarmouth. And Jana Gadgil has just returned from the scene. She's in our newsroom now. And Jana, what's the latest?
Well, Susie, it was a warm day today. There were lots of people on the beach and in the sea at Great Yarmouth. And just after 2 o'clock, 2 separate phone calls were made to the ambulance service saying that 2 people who appeared to be in trouble in the water around Britannia Pier. So a big air and sea rescue attempt was launched at that point, involving an air ambulance, 2 lifeboats, several other local boats and a Coast Guard patrolling the beach. Now, one of the men was found and brought out of the water, but the search continued for the other man.
This afternoon, about 2 o'clock, 2 males entered the water here on the North Beach at Great Yarmouth. Both of those got into difficulties. One male managed to get back onto the beach, but the other, at this time, remains unaccounted for.
And the search continued up the coast to the north of Great Yarmouth until the late afternoon, when it was called off.
So do we know how the men got into trouble?
Well, there was a strong current today around Great Yarmouth, and the Coast Guard said that just 20 to 30 yards out into the sea, it would be easy to get into trouble. Now, a 5-mile search of the shoreline is going to take place tomorrow between Great Yarmouth and Scratby, but the Coast Guards have said that there's very little chance that this man is still alive.
And Jana, thank you very much.
A businessman in Essex thought he was doing his bit for society when he decided to clear a river of rubbish, but not everybody agreed. He's been fighting a battle with the authorities ever since. They claim he should have to pay to get rid of the rubbish.
If I don't do it, nobody will. Roy Hart's thoughts when he removed 120 old tyres from the River Crouch, but now they're piled up at his home in Battlesbridge. He and his friends cleared part of the river at a local park in Wickford. They thought the local council or environment agency would do the easy bit and take it all away.
The trouble is, Roy Hart now faces a bill of up to £500 to dispose of these old tyres. The local council, Basildon, says this was an environment issue. Therefore, the Environment Agency should deal with it. But the Environment Agency disagrees, nor, they say, were the tyres a flooding risk. Therefore, the local landowner, the council, should sort it out.
And just to complicate matters, this side of the River Crouch is owned by Basildon Council, the other side by Chelmsford Council.
We are the landowner, but that doesn't make us responsible for everything that goes on. You've got motorways, trunk roads, which are not our responsibility, but they are on our land. And I think the similar analogy can be applied to the River Crouch. It is the Environment Agency's responsibility.
I'm absolutely fed up, really, but we got the tyres out of the river and that was the main job.
Who do you think should deal with this?
Well, I think it's the Environment Agency, actually. It is pollution. If you don't think 120 tyres in a 20-foot or 30-foot stretch of river is not pollution or anything else, they shouldn't be working.
I can understand that the tyres were unsightly and therefore why the volunteers would want to take those out, but they were not a significant risk to flooding or pollution, which is why I would encourage the volunteers to work with the landowners, therefore, to agree how they would dispose of those tyres.
Sadly, the fly tippers have since returned to the River Crouch. But as a goodwill gesture to Roy Hart, Basildon Council has offered to take the tyres away for free. Alex Dunlop, BBC Look East, Battlesbridge.
It's still not clear what caused a fire which led to the collapse of part of the Spread Eagle pub in the village of Margaretting in Essex. The police and fire service have set up an investigation. The pub had been closed for several days before the fire. In football, Ipswich Town have signed the Sunderland midfielder Jack Colback on loan till January. He's 19 years old and is known to manager Roy Keane from his time in the North East. He's described as tenacious and good on the ball and is expected to be in the squad for the game at Coventry on Sunday this week.
The insurance giant Aviva said today that profits from its car insurance business have fallen over the past year. It doesn't allow its policies to be sold through price comparison websites, and critics say this may be costing it dear.
Price comparison websites are proving very popular among buyers of car insurance.
For people choosing their car insurance with moneysupermarket.com, the average saving is £157.
But they don't appeal to the region's biggest insurer.
Aviva, formerly Norwich Union, doesn't allow its products to be quoted through comparison websites. But with the number of policies being sold through these websites on the up, could that be a big mistake?
Aviva is being squeezed in the credit crunch. its share of the motor insurance market has been falling.
More and more consumers are realising the benefits that can be had by shopping online and the ease of which it can be done by using a comparison site to compare policies and premiums. That the risk is that insurers that aren't on the sites risk losing out and risk losing market share.
But Aviva says its sales have fallen because of the recession and a decision to withdraw from unprofitable areas. It believes it's better to go it alone.
Price comparison sites are very crowded. We know from consumer feedback that quite often when the customers click through, the deal isn't quite what they were expecting, and we absolutely believe that we have the best deal available to our customers by coming direct.
Much depends on Aviva getting its strategy right. More than 3,000 people work for its home and motor division in Norwich. Richard Bond, BBC Look East.